Okay, good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming into this live social studies lesson. What we're going to do, I've taken some questions off of the official readiness test. These are ones that are very similar that would be on the task test. And I'm just going to give you some strategies as to how to answer these questions. Okay, so let's number 10. And this is about the Federal Reserve System. And if you look at the answers, it says, why was the Federal Reserve System created? So we're looking at reasons why it was created. So we're going to read this paragraph. The Federal Reserve System was created in 1913 following several financial crises. Over time, the responsibility of the Federal Reserve had expanded to deal with the complex economy of a growing nation. The Federal Reserve serves as the central bank of the United States and makes policy related to the supply of money. It also regulates private banking institutions and protects the rights of consumers. The Federal Reserve is overseen by a board of governors appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate. However, it is considered to be an independent entity free of influence of the executive or legislative branches of government. So basically what it's saying, it's supposed to be free from the president and Congress. Okay, so why was the Federal Reserve created? To lower farm loan interest rates. Okay, there's nothing in that paragraph about basically farm loans, so we're going to cross that one off. To prevent future economic panics. Okay, because it talks about financial crises up there, so that might be one, that might be the correct answer. We're not going to cross B off. C, to end high tariffs on foreign imports. We don't see that in there at all, so we're going to cross that off. And to stop the expansion of large monopolies. Well, monopolies isn't mentioned at all in that paragraph, so we're probably going to cross that one off. And that only leaves us B, to prevent future economic panics. Okay, so just by process of elimination, we've crossed off A, C, and D. Just by reading that paragraph, we know that, you know, farm loan interests aren't in there. Foreign import doesn't talk about that. And it really doesn't talk about the expansion monopolies. So the only one that's left is B. So B be the correct answer. Okay. Let's go on to 11 here. And these are just looking at two pictures. And these are artifacts. So look at the picture of an artifact from culture A, and that's from 9500 to 88 BCE. And culture B is an agrarian society. Then answer the question. Okay, so hunter-gatherer, it's exactly what it says. You hunt and you gather. And B is agrarian, and that is having to do with agriculture. So we have kind of two different cultures here. We have one that really grows crops, and that would be the agrarian, and that's B, and that's a ceramic bowl. And then we have culture A, which is the hunter-gatherer, and that's like a flint point. And you could see that would probably be on the end of a stick used to probably, you know, hunt animals, fish, whatever it may be. It was found in Kentucky, so maybe not fish as much, but maybe in streams, but probably like, you know, deer, things like that. Okay, so what conclusion can be drawn about these two cultures? Culture A had more food sources than culture B. Probably not, because one had, you know, agriculture, one had crops, one had animals. So I don't think it's a question of that basically one had more than the other. Culture A engaged in more overseas trade than culture B. There's nothing about trade that you can infer from either one of these things. So I'm going to probably cross B off. So we've crossed A and B off, so it just leaves us C and D. Culture A changed its location more frequently than culture B. Now let's think about that. Pretty much you can go grow crops in the same place. So if you're growing, you know, corn, wheat, whatever, you probably don't have to move very often. You can just keep planting it every spring. But when you're hunting, do animals stay stationary? Probably not. Animals are always on the move. So your culture probably is moving too to go where the food source is, because remember, you are a hunter, so you're hunting food. Culture B, it's agriculture, you're growing crops. So C sounds like a pretty good answer. And then D says culture A had more complex social structure than culture B. You can't infer that because it doesn't give you any information about that. The only really good answer would be C, because you know that when you hunt, you usually basically have to go where the animals are. So you're going to have to move a little bit. And that would be answer C. You're probably moving where the animals go. And sometimes, too, if you guys know, like we overhunted our buffalo, and the buffalo kept moving west. And that's why we kept moving further and further west, because if you're a hunter, you have to go where the food is. But if you're growing crops, you pretty much can stay stationary. That's what culture B is. It's the agriculture, so you're not going to have to move as often. So the correct answer would be C. Based on hunting, you're going to have to move, obviously, because if the deer move, you're going to have to move. Okay. Now let's go on to the next one here. And this is about the flow of money. This is a little bit of economics, and we've touched on this a little bit. So you can see in the middle is banks. So how that works is, says on the left, says household and businesses. You save your money, you put into a bank. Then the bank basically gives out money to borrowers. Like when you go to the bank and get a loan, what you're actually doing is you're borrowing someone else's money that's put money in the bank. And then that basically goes back into the bank, because if you start a business, you make money, you put it back into the bank, and then basically the bank then gives that back out to businesses and households. So it's kind of like a circular flow. Okay. So 12 asks, which of these incentives for someone depositing money into a savings account? And think about your own personal experience. Why would you put money into the bank? Okay, so it says the option of buying stocks. Just by putting money into a savings account, it's not going to give you the option of buying stocks. You're going to have to buy stocks on your own. So it's not going to be a possibility of earning interest. Well, you know that when you put money into a bank, it does earn a little bit of interest. So that seems like a pretty good one. Remember here, we're talking about savings account. So C says the option to pay bills by writing checks. Okay, so writing checks would come out of your checking account, and this doesn't talk about checking, it's talking about savings. So C probably isn't going to be the right answer. And then you have D, the possibility of lowering interest rate on a credit card. Doesn't talk anything about credit cards and that flow of money. Okay, so really the best answer would be B. When you put money in the bank, you're going to get a little bit of interest on it, because the bank's going to pay you a little bit of interest, because when you put money in the bank, it gives the bank the ability to loan money out to government and businesses. That's why they give you a little interest, a little incentive. Sometimes it's not a whole lot, but you do earn a little bit of interest on your money. And the correct answer then would be B. Okay, so the next one says, based on the diagram, which of these happens after money is deposited in the bank? So two things happen, because you can see the bank's in the middle, and there's arrows going out both ways. Okay. It says the money is used for other investments, and that would be the top. That goes to the borrowers for government and businesses. So that's basically when you start a business, it's like an investment. You're investing in your business. Excuse me. So that one might be a good one. The money is used to pay off national debt. Well, I really don't see anything about national debt in there. Okay, that would be more about our taxes. When you pay taxes, that really goes to the debt. The money is used to lower the rate of inflation. Not so much. You don't see inflation there. And D would be the money is used to balance trade deficits with other countries. We certainly don't see that in there. So just by process of elimination, we know that A is going to be the best answer. The money is used for other investments. And that's like a business. If you start your own business, you're investing in a business. And that's really, you go to the bank, you get a loan, and that loan is just other people's money that are put in the bank. Okay, so the correct answer for that would be A, the money is used for other investments. And those B, C, and D you've just crossed off. So even if you didn't know that, just by process of elimination, A would be the only reasonable answer. Okay, so we're going to go to the last one here. And this one really has not a whole lot to do with the diagram. And it asks about what action shows someone promoting the common good. Okay, I think we all know what the common good is. James makes breakfast for his family. That's nice, but it's really specific to his family. So maybe we're not going to cross A off. Lori volunteers at a local homeless shelter. Okay, so there's lots of people that go to homeless shelters. That would be kind of community wide. Jennifer gets the concert early safe seats for her friends, which once again is nice. It's just a few people though. And Mike placed a negative political advertisement in the local newspaper. And you can just see negative. Negative and good are opposites, so it wouldn't be that. So we're going to cross D off. And that leaves us with A, B, and C. And you have to look at common, and that means kind of everyone. So what answer we would pick would be B, because she volunteers at a local homeless shelter. That is a common good for everyone. A and C are nice things. James makes breakfast for his family, and that Jennifer is reserving seats for her friends. Those are just small. And B would be the overall good. Lori volunteers at a local homeless shelter. That really affects everyone in the community, and that would be the best example of the common good. So the correct answer would be B. All right, you guys, thanks again. Since we're doing social studies, I want to remind you today is primary day, so if you can, please go out and vote. And I will see you guys, for some of you, tomorrow in basic math, and we'll pick up science again on Thursday, and social studies will be next week. So have a great day. Bye.